Now the first step that we want to do is we want to check the alignment on the vise before we make any adjustments. The vise may be aligned already and therefore may not need adjustment. I'm going to grab my drill chuck and now I'm going to place it into the spindle. So the process to do that is first I need to align the spindle. There's an M code that we're going to use, M19, M19. That's the code that we're going to use to lock and orient the spindle. To do that, we come over to the pendant. The third key down is the MDI key. We then use the delete key, the third key in the upper row here, and we delete everything in MDI. Whenever placing something in MDI, make sure that everything else is removed. I then type in M19, enter. The code is in MDI mode. It will not execute until I hit the cycle start button. So again, MDI, M19, enter, cycle start. In this case, the spindle was already oriented, so therefore nothing moved. Let me show you what happens when the spindle is not oriented. Now the first step in loading a tool is to make sure that the spindle is oriented correctly. As you can see, the spindle is not oriented correctly. To orient the spindle correctly, press the MDI button and then the delete button. Make sure that there's no codes on the MDI page. Do this every time you're going to enter an MDI code. I am then going to enter M19, M19. I then hit the enter key and the code is displayed on the screen. Now, because the doors are open, the code will not actually initiate. So I must close the doors and then I can hit the cycle start button. You'll notice that the spindle is oriented. And now the spindle lugs are lined up with the tool change arm. Now I'm ready to insert a tool. To insert a tool, take my tool holder. You'll notice that one side of the tool holder has a machine feature in it. Sometimes it's a circle, sometimes it's a square, sometimes it's just a drilled mark. But you'll notice that there's a feature. If you look on the opposite side, you'll notice there's nothing. Okay? So one side is machined, one side is not. For our machines here at the school, we want to place the blank side out facing towards us. So when you pick up a tool holder, identify the blank side of the tool holder. That is the side that's going to be facing out. That is the side that you're going to interlock with this drive lug. Blank side facing out. Press the tool in and out button. It's here on the spindle. And then gently place the tool in the spindle as high as it'll go and release the button. One more time. Press the button, gently place the tool in the spindle with the blank side facing out, release the button. Make sure that your hands are not up here on the taper of the tool holder. If your hands are anywhere above this ring, they may be pinched by the spindle. So always grab the tool underneath the drive ring, press the button, load the tool, release the button. The machine will pull the tool out of your hands. Once the machine has grabbed the tool, then you can let go. Do not assume that the machine is going to grab the tool. That's when tools are dropped. To take the tool out of the spindle, again, gently hold the tool, press the button, the tool will drop out of the spindle. You can then go ahead and remove the tool. Grab the tool, press the button, the tool will drop gently out of the machine. Make sure you're holding onto it and remove it from the machine. So when loading tools into the spindle, there's actually a few ways that you can do it incorrectly. We want the blank part of the tool to be facing us when we place the tool into the machine. If I take the machine part of the tool holder and I place that into the machine, that's incorrect. If I don't line up either one of these drive lugs on the tool with the drive lugs that are on the machine, that's incorrect. We talked about the tool release button on the front of the spindle. This is the only way that you're going to load and unload tools into the machine. You'll notice on the pendant that there's also a tool release button. Under no circumstances are you to use this tool release button on the pendant. If you press this button, the tool will drop right out of the spindle. Okay? So again, the only tool release button that we use is the one on the spindle itself. The one that is on the pendant, do not use.